Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope you are all doing well. In today's video, I wanted to cover 5 more things I wish that I knew before I started investing with the Robinhood app. Let's get right to the video. If you guys are new here to the channel and don't really know what it's about, I talk about all things investing as well as my tips and tricks into the stock market. So if you're looking to increase your portfolio size and possibly even make some passive income along the way, then make sure that you subscribe to this channel and turn on that bell notification to be alerted when my new videos come out. Now, I know that today is a Monday, and typically on Mondays I release an update to the Robinhood challenge, but because it's Labor Day, the market is closed today. So if you're looking for an update, expect that to be a little bit later this week. If you don't know what the Robinhood challenge is, I took $1,000 and invested it into the stock market. I'm gonna put a link to that video in the card above, as well as a description below. But essentially what I'm trying to do is grow that portfolio as big as possible and get as many dividends as possible to make passive income and be able to grow that portfolio for the future and hopefully get enough traction to make some decent money doing so. So if you want to follow along that process, it's pretty interesting, and you can be sure to tag along with every video that I release on Mondays going through the updates of my portfolio. And you can follow me on Twitter at DLitzTV for real-time updates. I talk about all the things that I'm doing during the trading hours because I won't be making videos during the trading hours. Typically it comes out afterwards. So just make sure that you are aware of all those different things. But without further ado, I'm going to hop right into the Robinhood app here. And you can see at the very beginning, I do this 2-factor authentication that I had no clue about when I first started with the app. And it's proved to be incredibly useful because there's so many different data breaches out there, and you really want to make sure that your investments and your money is as secure as possible. So I actually have a couple different authentication methods on. One of them is actually using my Face ID. So you can see that every time I go to open the app, I actually have to log in with a scan of my face. So if someone were to find my phone or take my phone away from me, there's no possible way that they could get into that application. Now, if you are not sure how to set that up, it's very simple. All you have to do is hit that little person icon in the bottom right of the phone, go into your settings here and head right on into 2-factor authentication, open that up, and then you can set it up through that. So I highly recommend that if you are getting into this app for the first time, that you are using that. The next thing that you're going to want to be aware of if you head back over to the home screen is that free stocks icon in the top right. I know I talked about this in one of my previous videos, but essentially if you are just getting started, then you can use a referral code. I'm going to link mine in the description below so you can use that if you have not used one yet, or you can use your own and give it to friends. But essentially what happens is you invite your friends, you give them the code, and it's going to actually allow them to create a new account. And what that does is it actually gives them a free stock, and it gives you a free stock as well. You can see you can get Apple, Facebook, Berkshire Hathaway. There's some great options for stocks you can get here. It's 100% free, so you might as well do it if you're creating an account. And you can see I have my past invites right here, so I've actually been able to successfully get people to use my code, and they have gotten these stocks. I have gotten these stocks as well. It's not always the same. They might get better stocks than me, they might get worse stocks than me. I find it's pretty random. So that's a cool little feature. Now again, back at the home screen, I'm just gonna hop right into a stock here. Realty Income is a great stock for my portfolio. It has been a workhorse for this challenge that I'm doing. Anyways, you can see a very good breakdown. You got the day, week, month, 3-month, year, 5-year. So you can just check those out if you want. Pretty cool stuff there. Nothing really too fancy about it. If you drag your finger, you can get specific dates or hours and exact times if you're looking for that. Anyways, you can see your position here. I have 5 shares of this. You can see the breakdown. What I like to see is the portfolio diversity. This is a huge chunk of my portfolio right now, but get to know the stats and become familiar with what all of this stuff is. So open and high are basically, you know, what the stock opens at, how high it gets to during the day, and the low is how low it is. You can see the 52-week high and the 52-week low. All good stuff to just be aware of so you know what the stock's value is compared to how it is in the past, how well it's been doing or how bad it's been doing. So you might be able to identify some good times to buy into stocks using this method. Volume is super super important for someone like me who wants to get high volume stocks that are traded often, so you don't really have an issue. If you need to sell, then you can do so very easily within the trade day. So this one had a volume of 837,181 last trading period, which is more than enough. You can see the average volume is a little bit over 1 million. Market cap is big, understanding what that means, including what the PE ratio is and what dividend yields are. Now, one thing I wish I knew before Robinhood is this information actually isn't super accurate all the time. So sometimes you're required to do a little bit more research. I like to look at Yahoo Finance for things like the dividend yield, because I've noticed that for different stocks that is off in Robinhood. It isn't always the case. Sometimes it's accurate, but just you want to be aware that there can be some fallacies within the app. All the news right here is really cool. It breaks it down. It gives you what the latest news are for the stocks that you're invested in. So any individual stock you go into, you can see the latest news on it, or what is, trending with the news, which is pretty cool. You can see the analyst ratings for the stocks. Don't really look into these too much. I mean, it's good to know what these are, but I find that you need to be doing your own research into the stocks to make sure that you are buying the right ones. Definitely you can lean on this a little bit for some guidance, but it's interesting just to know what analysts are saying. You can see the earnings reports right here. Also very important to understand what earnings are. So you can see that this stock in particular has been crushing it with their earnings. They've killed it every time. Really good numbers there. And you can see what it is featured in, so what kind of industry or sector that the stocks are in right here. You got your history, so anytime you buy or sell the stocks, you can see it right here, which gives you a cool little individual breakdown for your individual stocks. And then you can see about the company here if you want to do some little bit of research. But like I said, using the external sources to do that research is more key than actually just relying on Robinhood. You'll pick that up pretty quick if you're new to the app. The fourth thing that you should be aware of, not necessarily that you're going to use it if you're a beginning investor, but just know that Robinhood has this feature. I'm going to hop right into a random stock here. So GE, for example, hopping into GE, if I go to trade, there is buy or trade options. Now, a lot of people, when they just start investing, don't know what trading options is. Now, I put out videos on this, so if you are interested in learning more about it, then you can check out those videos. But essentially, you should just be aware that Robinhood gives you the ability to trade options. Now, the last thing that I think that everybody should know about this app is if you have any issues, their customer service is kind of a little bit different than most companies, so they don't actually have people that you can call into. So if you needed help, then you would go over to your settings here, you would click on help, and then you would go to either the help center or contact us. If you go to contact them, then it's going to open up this page here where you simply type a question and it emails them. Now, the few times that I've actually had to reach out with their customer service teams, I haven't had great experiences doing so, which is really such a bummer, because when you are investing your money, it's super critical to have a responsive customer service team that is there for you when you need them. So what I found that I needed to do after sending my emails, I sent 2 in a row to try and contact with them. Didn't hear back in a reasonable time, so I was tweeting at the Robinhood account, and that's actually what raised the red flag for them. It got their attention, and they were able to put me immediately into contact with one of their customer service representatives. So just know that if you do have a problem, sometimes it's hard to work with their customer service team, but you can help streamline the process by simply putting out tweets towards their Robinhood app. Now that just about wraps it up for this video here today. So like I said in the beginning of this video, you want to make sure that you stay tuned for the update to the Robinhood challenge. That's either going to be released tomorrow or Wednesday of this week, so make sure that you have your eyes out for that. If you guys have any more questions for me, be sure to leave them down in the comment section below, or you can reach out to me directly on Twitter or Instagram. I'm usually pretty good with response times, and I get to every single one of you guys, so definitely if you're looking to reach out, then I'm highly accessible. If you guys made it this far into the video, please make sure that you leave it a like. It really helps out with that YouTube algorithm, and it lets me know that I'm actually making a difference for some of you and helping you guys out, because that is really the goal of my channel here. And consider subscribing. I've got a lot of exciting updates coming to this channel, so stay tuned for those, and thanks for watching.